Hi, I'm James Tompkins, and I'm here with Michael Steebing, and welcome to Cinema 8. How you doing, Michael?
Doing good. Saw some good movies this last week, and I'm excited to talk about them.
Me too. Me too. It's good to be here. Let's jump right in. We've got a few to talk about today. Just some new releases that are out. I this past week saw the new Yorgos Lanthimos movie Bugonia, and I just have a few things to say about it. This is a really interesting movie. It's a very assured piece of filmmaking. It's the Yorgos Lanthimos directed it. It's able to tell this very human story, but just have you in awe of these kind of fantastical elements that keep getting brought up in it. It's a movie that constantly keeps you guessing what is real and what isn't really, and it just keeps you on your toes throughout. Emma Stone is fantastic in it as this kind of cold-hearted CEO. Her character gets kidnapped by two conspiracy-minded cousins who are convinced she is an alien sent to destroy Earth. But Jesse Plemons is really the beating heart and soul of this movie, is kind of the brains of the operation. And you begin to really empathize with his character as the movie progresses. And, Lanthimos, he directed The Lobster, Poor Things, Kinds of Kindness, The Favorite, all kinds of kind of very strange, offbeat movies. And there's a lot of very well composed shots and a lot of symmetry to this film. But the world of this movie feels very messy and real in a way that a lot of his other movies have not, to me at least. But certainly in the past, these movies have often come across as kind of arch and obtuse, and and kind of this kind of drawn out pace that's kind of unnerving. But here, the stakes of them feel of the characters and the situations feel very relatable and realistic, despite the kind of offbeat theories and the convictions of the characters. And so, I think this is it's like fantastical elements, but it feels very lived in, this movie. And so, I definitely recommend Bugonia. It's worth checking out. And I think we're going to be hearing about it on a lot of 10 best lists of the year, and at the Oscars for sure.
Jamie, do you foresee Emma Stone being nominated again for this movie?
It's possible. I think that she would deserve a nomination for Best Actress, and I think that Jesse Plemons definitely would. I think there's going to be a lot of competition this year. From it sounds like there's One Battle After Another, of course, Sinners, possibly. Weapons. I know there's a lot of buzz about this new movie coming out called Hamnet from Chloe Zhao. So there's a lot of big contenders out there. I know that this movie was released wide this past weekend, and I saw it in theaters. Pretty good crowd when I saw it at Celebration North here in Grand Rapids, but I know that it kind of fell short of box office expectations. So I don't know how much that could play into it, and how big a critical and audience reception it's getting, and how much that could play into how much love it gets at the Oscars. So
Well, I need to check this one out while it's still in theaters. I loved Poor Things. So
yeah, Poor Things. Poor Things was great, and I really liked the one he did right after that, Kinds of Kindness. But this one I think is a little different than those, even though it's definitely a kind of another sort of offbeat subject matter. It feels a little bit more lived in and real.
sweet.
So yeah, let's talk about another new release. This one's streaming. This is The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Now this is a remake of the 1992 evil bad nanny thriller. This is streaming now on Hulu. This was sort of in the trend of a lot of sort of stalker, bad characters, sort of the From Hell movies of the late '80s, early '90s. Bad Nanny, Bad Roommate, Bad Ex-Lover, Bad Temp. Who else? Bad Santa.
Oh yeah, can't forget Santa.
No,
Bad
that
Santa.
wasn't one of them. But the this is a slightly different take on it. It's a little different, but we got Micah Monroe playing what was the Rebecca De Mornay character in the original, and this woman with sort of a mysterious past moves in to be the nanny of this family that kind of needs someone to look after the various kids in the family with a busy mother and husband. Everything seems great at first, but eventually it gets a little seems to be a little off with the nanny, and mysterious things start happening. The mother becomes suspicious, but it seems to be that in all these kind of movies that one person is suspicious and nobody else believes that person. So I thought this was definitely good for what it was. It was an effective thriller. What did you think of it, Michael?
So I saw this one just a couple days before Halloween. I've never seen the original, so I don't have anything to compare it to as far as that. But man, this is a fun movie. It's on streaming right now, right on Hulu. Don't take it too seriously. It's kind of a ridiculous premise, but man, is it fun! All kinds of twists and turns. I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, it definitely has twists and turns. It definitely has a twist that I do not remember from the first one. I can't say that I was that I'd seen the first one maybe any more than one time. I don't think. I think I saw it when it was originally probably first on TV or something back in the day. But it was this was. But I definitely would have remembered the twist if I. So it was definitely. It's good that they did something new with it, and that they weren't just sort of regurgitating what had happened before. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's. I think it's definitely worth streaming or checking out. So yeah, Hand that Rocks the Cradle.
And it's not that long of a movie. It's like, maybe an hour and a half, 45 minutes, and it just flies by because just so much is happening in this movie. It's funny at times. I don't know. I really enjoyed this one too.
Perfect for streaming.
Yeah.
And perfect for doing something else while you're watching it.
Yep. Absolutely.
You can still follow it, which is nice. Yeah, and sort of a recap of something that we talked about on our last episode. You actually have seen One Battle After Another now. After I talked about it in our last episode, I very much liked the movie and gave it a very glowing review. What did you think of it?
So I had very high expectations going into this movie. Paul Thomas Anderson is one of the best directors out there, one of my personal favorites. And man, it surpassed all of them. This movie is so much fun. It's a ride. It's, a little over 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours, but it doesn't feel that. I mean, this movie just constantly is going and going and going. And the performances are excellent. Sean Penn's character is just so wild, just this crazy guy. Leonardo DiCaprio is good as always. As in this movie, he plays a father. Man, this movie's great. The script is really good. The action scenes are just incredibly shot. The music, especially during some of these fast-paced action scenes, just like glides you through. I had so much fun with this movie. It's right up there with Weapons is one of my favorite movies of the year. Sinners too. it's gonna man this Oscars this year or next year is gonna be an interesting one because there's some really great powerhouse movies, and One Battle After Another is certainly one of them.
It feels like, yeah, this a lot of the Oscar contenders are movies that have really played well with audiences and not just critical favorites this year. Movies that a lot of people have seen. Whereas, like, it seems like a lot of years we're kind of waiting around for the end of the year for any of the Oscar contenders to even come out. And this year we've already had movies that are very likely to be nominated come out, such as Sinners, Weapons, One Battle After Another. And it feels like there's going to be, probably some higher viewership, or maybe people more interested because there's these very popular movies that are really filmmaking achievements as well that people at home will be invested in watching.
When the Oscars expanded their best pictures from 5 to 10, it really allowed more of these crowd pleasing movies to sneak in there and be honored in the best picture category. We still have Wicked for Good coming out.
Yeah.
The last Wicked was nominated for best picture. We have Avatar, the third Avatar, coming out. The last two were both nominated for best picture. So I think this year's definitely shaping up to be just that, what you said, Jamie, to be a lot of crowd pleasing movies.
Yeah, I think those, I would say, are pretty much guaranteed to be on the Best Picture list,
Yeah.
and those are guaranteed to probably make about $1 billion as well. It was funny how the last Avatar kind of came in. I guess it was 3 years ago now, 2022 was it? Yeah, I think I saw it near the beginning of 23 because it had been out, about if it was out for a couple months, but I saw it in. I don't know if I saw it in IMAX, but it was a great experience to see it on the big screen. But it was. But it had been years since the other one came out. But it came out when they finally release another one, it becomes such an event for people to go and see another one. So I feel like even though it might not even get talked about as much, this Avatar franchise, when a new one does come out, people just flock to it and it becomes an event to go see on the big screen.
Absolutely. James Cameron certainly knows what he's doing. Knows how to bring in lots of crowds, families, bring in everybody, and knows what he's doing with the visuals, with the story.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this third Avatar.
I'll be there. I have not seen the first Wicked movie. Did you see it?
Okay. Yeah, I did. I really liked it. It had been a while since I saw the show on Broadway, but I thought both of the performances from Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo that's who it is, right?
Yeah, that's Cynthia Erivo. I've heard her name pronounced that way.
I thought for a second, I was like, did I say that right? Was that the right name, or was that the woman that did it on Broadway?
No, she's in the movie. She also had a great episode of Poker Face that she was in this past year with Natasha Lyonne. I think she was nominated for an Emmy for that. She played a bunch of different characters in that episode. It was a great episode.
Nice. They're both excellent in Wicked.
Yeah. Natasha Lyonne isn't in Wicked. But,
You're sure she's not one of the Munchkins?
yeah. Well, she could. She's like sort of a raspy voiced.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen Wicked. There's one other thing I want to talk to you about. It's the new Scream movie. The trailer came out. You were actually watching the trailer at your desk. I'm excited for this movie because I really liked the last two entries in the franchise. I felt like it really rejuvenated the franchise for me. I like the new cast of characters. I know that two of the main cast of characters are not coming back. Jenna Ortega, and I apologize, cannot remember the actress's name who played her sister, but they are both not coming back for whatever reason. I'm not sure. Their characters survived.
Jenna Ortega is very busy now. She
Yeah.
has Wednesday and she's in a lot of movies. So I think she's just a busy person.
Yeah, and they're bringing back Nev Campbell is back after kind of sitting out the last one, so her character is coming back. I think is kind of the center main character of the movie again. And I know that some of the other actors who were in the last couple of the kind of rebooted franchise are going to be in it again. I know that some people have complained that too many characters survive, that they need to kill more people off. They've had too many people return. It's a lot of fun. They really know how to keep the franchise going, keep it in the spirit of the originals, and keep a lot of surprises in it. So I'm definitely looking forward to the new Scream.
Yeah, me too. Can't wait for that.
Okay. Anything else on your mind?
There's some movies I still want to see this year. I definitely want to see the Bruce Springsteen biopic that just came out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's on my list.
That's a big possible Oscar contender. I know there's a lot of talk about how convincing Jeremy Allen White is. So I guess people just have to see it for themselves. But I'm interested to see that as well. Okay, well, thanks for joining me, Michael. Great talk, and I'm going to go do a wardrobe change really quick, and we will be right back with more Cinema 8. Hi, welcome back to Cinema 8. I just got back from my wardrobe change. I went and put on a hoodie that the Wood TV stylist told me to put on to look a little bit more like Ed Gain. So I'm here with Jacob Bartles. Now we're going to talk about some more movies that are coming out. And one that just recently came out at the time of this recording, Predator Badlands. Of course, the latest entry in the Predator franchise. There's been so many entries, I have lost count of how many there have been at this point. But Jacob, what did you think of this movie?
I really, really liked it. Dan Trachtenberg, who directed Prey, which is, in my opinion, the best Predator movie, he did such a fantastic job. It really shows how much he loves this franchise, and he put everything into it, and it's truly fantastic. The score is amazing. The cast is really good. The creature designs, the set designs. I know they had a practical suit for this. It's really, really, really well done. The way that they handle the Yautja is the name of the predator species. The way that they handle him being the protagonist and not speaking English, I was really worried they were going to have him speak English at a certain point. Luckily, they didn't. The entire movie speaks, I forget the name of the language, but whatever the language of the Yautja is, and the exposition surrogate is played by Elle Fanning, who's a Wayland Yutani synth, and she's the stand-in for the audience exposition and navigating how the Yautja, whose name is Dek, if memory serves, how he navigates this planet that he's never been on. Most of the Predator movies, the Predator main character is a unstoppable force we get that impression is very much a killing machine. This, he's meant to be more of a adolescent trying to prove themselves, and the synth kind of helps him figure out this planet that he's on and try to hunt this creature and become a warrior that he wants to be.
It's something that I think people who have seen a lot of the earlier versions of the franchise have not probably are not used to of seeing this sort of like almost like a buddy version. I mean, I'm just saying this from watching the trailer. I've not seen the movie, but almost like this is not a human. This is a synth, but like a human-like figure teaming up with like a predator-like figure, and having to work together to do something. And that is not especially going back to the original Schwarzenegger movie. This is where it's a bunch of guys in the jungle fighting off this kind of strange presence, and it's evolved way past.
Very different movies.
Yeah, very different.
One is a very like 80s action flick, which like Vietnam War. It's just like it's very, very 80s. You have that iconic meme of the high five. That's what a lot of people really remember about that first one is the beginning with Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers and the muscles and the big high five, but and just a lot of the big buff guys in the wilderness in the woods, and then you go into the urban city version of it in Predator 2 with Danny Glover, and then they tried and they did like a reboot of it in the 2010s, right? They did. There was also Predators with
Adrian Brody, Lawrence
and
Fishburne.
He was in that. Yes,
and then the Alien versus Predator movies were,
which were first one was all right.
Yeah, I like the
second
first
one wasn't great.
Yeah. Oh, well, that was Requiem.
Yes, that was not good.
That was one of the worst.
Had to excuse herself to vomit in the bathroom.
It was so bad. And I think that has got to be some of the worst cinematography I've ever seen in a movie. I think it's some of the worst lighting I've ever seen in a movie. I was wondering if there was a problem with. I mean, I watched it on TV on cable, but it was some of the worst lighting I'd ever seen in a movie. It was so dimly lit. Maybe it was a budget thing, but it was one of the hardest to follow movies of action-wise I ever seen, and it was just like felt like the bottom last scraps of a franchise is what it felt like. It was like we have come so far from the top tier of either of these franchises, and it's good to see that that's being brought to some new life now for sure.
And Dan Trachtenberg wanted this to be a kind of revival of and a bridge of the modern Predator and Alien franchises, because the synth is a Weyland-Yutani synth, which is an alien, which is the company in Alien. You have them interacting with Mother, which is the AI in Alien. So you have a lot of Alien references in here that very much bridge the two universes, which gives me hope for the future of the franchise. Even if, unfortunately, there were only like 7 people in my theater last night.
Oh.
And I was really worried, so I looked at other theaters in the area, and none of them had more than 10 people in them.
It's not a great sign for opening night.
No, it's not. And I'm hoping it picks up this weekend, because this is currently, I'm dating us now, unfortunately, but it's currently opening weekend.
Right.
And so I'm hoping it picks up, but I'm really worried for this one, because I really, really liked Badlands. It's like it checked all the boxes for me. It was plot-wise, it was predictable, but that doesn't matter for a film like this. It's just
the just the atmosphere of it, the score, it felt so good. It was very guttural, like the guttural chanting in Dune. It had that aura to it. It just felt so good and so unique. And it was made. The score was done by Sarah Schachner, I think, who worked on Prey and who worked on the Modern Warfare 2019 video game. Great scores. There was also someone else that worked on that was Benjamin Wallfish, who did It Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 and the new TV show. He's done Alien Romulus, Blade Runner 2049. Sorry, I have Battlefield in the brain. That's an entirely different thing. So two really, really good composers worked on this, and they did a fantastic job with bringing it to life. And I just felt so good. The visuals were great. The way that they had the mix of CGI and practical. I know they had a practical suit, and I know there were practical sets. They had the ship was just great, and the jungle. The way that they have they blend the flora and the fauna really well. They do the thing where in each Predator movie, like there's an assessment of the environment and kind of like what can our protagonist use in the environment, what can they use to their advantage, and what things that are hindrance early on can they use later to help them in their fight. There's very much several things that he finds immediately, and you go, oh, I see how that's going to come into play later, and it's worked so well. Elle Fanning, there's a interesting fight scene with her later. The majority of the film, she doesn't actually have legs, so she's just kind of carried on the Deck's back, and is very much just annoying him the entire time. The character is very much a kind of like an annoying, persistent info dump, but to annoy Deck. And so it's funny because he's getting annoyed and he's responding to it.
Not annoying to the audience.
No, I didn't find her annoying at all.
Right.
There's that. It played that line really well.
It's good to have someone who's an info dump and exposition kind of character that is also manages to be entertaining and not just there for exposition. It's good.
100%. It's a bit of an unusual take for a Predator movie. It's not your typical, like Dutch was Arnold Schwarzenegger's character in the first one. It's not your typical like David and Goliath human story. It's more like a samurai flick, like a Ronin samurai flick, but a creature feature. And it's really well done in that respect. I've been waiting for a while for them to make a Predator period piece, i.e. in feudal Japan, in Scandinavian Vikings, something like that. And Dan Trachtenberg kind of did that in the animated form in a movie called The Killer of Killers. It's pretty good, with an asterisk, in that it's 3 short stories kind of taped together in 3 vignettes kind of taped together in a movie. And that worried me because we got animated short films of what I really wanted a live action thing to be. It really worried me that I wasn't going to get a live action samurai Ronin flick with a Predator. And we kind of got that here with Badlands. It's not in Japan. Obviously, it's not with samurais. But you do have the sword play and the kind of honor and vibes of an old school samurai flick, because the Yakuza have a certain belief system that makes them want to do a trial by combat. They have a warrior code. They have all this stuff that they need to do to prove themselves, and so because of that, and because of the layers of that code, and the way that they fight, it does sort of feel like what I wanted from a period piece. That's as kind of as close as I think we're going to get, unfortunately, but it does satisfy a little bit of that itch.
Well, look, that's interesting. It's interesting. I mean, that they can play around in the world building of it in that way. It is interesting that he's able to do something like that in a way that we haven't seen with this franchise.
I hope we get more from that. There's stuff that that teases more to the future of the franchise. So I'm hoping that the way that Killer of Killers is open-ended and the way that this has expanded the universe into the Alien universe, I'm hoping that we get to see more of Alien in it. We get to see more of different period piece-esque stuff from Predator, because Dan Trachtenberg has proved that he knows what he's doing with this franchise. And even if Killer of Killers wasn't what I really wanted it to be, it at least shows that this franchise is headed in the right direction. And with that and with Badlands, it proves that he knows how to make a Predator movie and he really loves this franchise. So I'm looking forward to anything that he has to further it.
Yeah, hopefully he keeps. They kind of keep him in charge of it, and hopefully the box office is good on this. But even if it isn't, there is always streaming platforms like Hulu, where I know that Predator content like Prey. I think that was straight to Hulu.
Yes, yeah, it was.
And that I know that did very well on there, and so I know that there could be a market for that on Hulu where they could continue to release Predator content. I mean, and now they've got the Alien series on FX and Hulu as well. So
Alien Earth, another really good series.
Yeah,
like that. Both of two of my favorite creature feature franchises are moving full force, and I love every second of it. They're both doing so well, and I am thoroughly enjoying how they're going, and I hope that they continue forward. From what it looks like, they've only kind of just got the ball rolling on the new kind of generation of each franchise, and I really, really hope they continue on this path, because it's like I know that you weren't really a fan of Romulus. I really liked it. I liked that it did justice to the OG Alien movies and took a little bit of Prometheus and Covenant in there too, and was like, okay, we're gonna do a little bit of fan service to these movies as well. I think that that the way that they handled, way that Romulus handled that was really good. I think that it made the offspring from Alien Resurrection actually good. Like, that thing was terrible back then, and it's okay now.
Yeah.
And so with Alien Earth and Alien Earth had a bunch of different creatures in it that were really unique and interesting, and that the xenomorph wasn't necessarily the most intriguing, which was also really interesting to see. And having that over there and having this film bridge them in a not just a tease that like Predator 2 had the xenomorph skull in the ship, and you're like, oh, cool, I see that. This is actually full on going, no, this isn't just a little Easter egg. This is a complete crossover. We are making Weyland-Yutani a big part of the Predator franchise and bridging them completely.
Definitely seems like a interesting entry in the franchise, and I'm glad it seems to be going in such a good direction. I know that you also watched F1 recently, which is now on VOD and is going to be coming to streaming in later this month, or is it December?
December
on Apple
12th, December 12th.
Okay.
Yeah, I was looking that up on the release. It's interesting watching the reactions to this. I personally enjoyed it, but you have to kind of not be as much of an F1 fan as you want to be watching it. you can't critique it. You just kind of got to let it be in a sports movie. It's been interesting watching my friends that are F1 fans react to it. Some of them are all in, love it for the atmosphere and what it's doing, and it's just a good atmospheric sports movie. But some aren't quite able to get past its inaccuracies. It takes a lot of liberties with some of the rules of the sport that are central plot points that wouldn't really be a thing. And so if you're not really able to move past if you're a stickler for rules, it won't really entertain as much. So there's stuff like that that's like a weird kind of cheese of, I see what you're doing. You're trying to make this character look clever, but it's not.
He wouldn't get away with it.
He wouldn't get away with it. It's stuff like that where it's just like it's not. Yeah, it's not in line with how the sport would be run. Overall, though, it's directed by Joseph Kosinski, who did Top Gun Maverick. He did Tron Legacy. He did Oblivion. All films that have just fantastic atmosphere and really good scores. So that carries through to this. The atmosphere, the way that you feel like you're in the cockpit type of thing, the way that the cars are shown. This was filmed by during an F1 the real F1 season, and they took bits before the race. They filmed. They took the actual cars out on track and had them record shots, scenes of the movie. So the scenes within the movie of races are on the actual tracks with the actual cars and with the actual drivers, but obviously the actual racing is staged. So because of that, it does feel fairly authentic when they're driving. The actual atmosphere and the racing in the movie is really, really good. If you can just get past some of the inaccuracies and the cheese that they do.
Well, it definitely has a great pedigree to it of all the people involved, and it looks like it would be a fun movie. So I would definitely check that out, and I know that a lot of people will. I mean, it was very successful in theaters, and I know that people will check it out on streaming when it comes out on Apple TV in about a month. So now we want to look at some movies that are going to be coming out this month, some trailers that are out right now, and some movies that are going to be released in November. The first one I want to talk about, it does look like an interesting movie, Die My Love, which is with Jennifer Lawrence and Robert Pattinson. It is not a Hunger Games and Twilight mashup. It is actually this sort of, it's being billed as a kind of a psychological drama about this couple who kind of moves to a new place, and the wife, played by Jennifer Lawrence, so she starts to unravel and sort of go through this psychological meltdown. I think there's a lot of buzz about Jennifer Lawrence's performance. She gets very unhinged in some scenes, and I think there's a lot of psychological warfare that goes on between the couple. And so I'm very interested to see this. Just some things I've seen about it is that it just doesn't let up, and kind of leaves it to the audience to kind of decide where they stand on the behavior of this couple. And I'm interested in seeing how this all plays out. It's directed by Lynn Ramsey, who's done some interesting work in the past. So I'm interested to see Die My Love. Have you seen the trailer for this one? Or?
Yes, yeah, it looks really interesting. I wasn't sure what it was at the start of the trailer. It seemed it had a very different vibe at the start, and then change to your psychological, well, maybe not psychological, but more suspense thriller. It seemed more like Robert Pattinson's character is more oblivious and doesn't really know what's going on. Why is my wife mad at me? I guess I'm angry too. And then it seemed like she was the one kind of diving off the deep end. And so it'll be interesting to see about what if that actually is the case, or how this one goes.
Yeah. It'll be an interesting one to check out and to see how much attention this gets with awards consideration later. I know this is a big showy part for Jennifer Lawrence, so we'll see how that goes later in the year. The next one I think is coming out later this month as well. The Running Man, which is an adaptation of a Stephen King novel that he wrote under an alias back in the 80s, and it was already made into a movie in the 80s starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, continuing the theme
Great
of talking
movie.
about Arnold Schwarzenegger franchises.
Not purposeful.
No, not intentionally, just realizing that as I was coming out of my mouth there. But but this is a reimagining or a complete remake of The Running Man. It stars Glenn Powell and is directed by Edgar Wright, and is telling the story of a guy who's on a futuristic game show where he has to run for his life and avoid being killed to win money. And this predates the Hunger Games, which I also just mentioned. Everything ties back together. This looks really entertaining. A great cast there. This looks like a lot of fun. And Edgar Wright is always entertaining filmmaker for Shaun of the Dead and one of my favorites, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. And Michael Cera is actually in this too. I think it's the first time he's worked with Edgar Wright since that movie, I think. But I'm looking forward to seeing this one. I think this will be a fun movie to watch. It looks like it has plenty of humor in it too, which Edgar Wright movies always do, and just like a fun action movie.
Yeah, I think it's also be interesting seeing the differences between this and the original film, because in the original film, Arnold is he's like framed in as a prisoner and forced to do it, whereas this is like in this one, Glenn Powell's character is coerced to make a choice, so he decides to join this, or at least it seems that way in the trailer. So I'd be interested to see how this plays out differently than the original.
I remember I read the book a long time ago, and I remember the Arnold movie was not very faithful to it because I read the book, then I watched the Arnold movie. It really seemed to me that it was, it took the concept and tried to make it into an Arnold Schwarzenegger action movie, and so it was probably changed to suit something that would star Arnold Schwarzenegger in this. And from what I've read, this seems to be a more faithful adaptation of the Stephen King story, but I'm sure with some flourishes that are more Edgar Wright. So I think we're probably going to see some more creative flourishes in this one than we did in the 1980s with Arnold Schwarzenegger, for sure.
Oh yeah, there was also that towards the end of the trailer, there's we already have a bit of a flourish of a long take down a hallway that he slides down an elevator with a grenade. So there's just stuff like that. It's like, okay, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah,
this is gonna be fun.
And we got this sort of franchise name, this kind of IP property that a studio feels safe to bankroll something like this, but it kind of gives someone with like Edgar Wright like a playground to do something expensive and fun with, and it's fun to kind of give him that scale to work in, and it's fun to watch him be able to do something like that. So I think that's pretty cool. Last trailer I want to talk about is Keeper, and that's coming out later this month as well. That is directed by Osgood Perkins, who has been very prolific in the last just over a year, really. He did Long Legs in the summer of 2024, and then the spring of this year, he did The Monkey. Perfect timing with the way that came up. And then now is Keeper, which is not a whole lot has been released about exact what this is about, besides a couple is at a house in the woods and being disturbed by something. But I think it's being very much sold on the branding of it's by Osgood Perkins, who has developed quite a reputation of being a new master of disturbing horror. And Long Legs certainly was disturbing in that way. The Monkey was a little bit more of a horror comedy, which was fun, and it's also gory, and it did have its scary moments as well. But I think he's proven himself to be very talented and interesting filmmaker, and I'm really interested to see Keeper and see what he does with this one.
Same. I saw Long Legs and Monkey shortly, within about a week or so of each other. Very different movies, both really good horror flicks. But I went into both of them blind, which I think is probably the best, to go into both of them blind. But yeah, they're both really, really good for completely different reasons.
Right.
And to see that range in terms of horror, I'm excited to see what they can do with this one too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think Long Legs was definitely surprising, and it had an absolutely bonkers Nicolas Cage performance.
It was insane.
Yeah, and you never could have predicted what was going to happen with his performance, and then to have the Monkey come out so quickly after that, and it just sort of throws you off. Okay, what is the deal with this guy? What is he capable of? So yeah, it's just it really piques my interest for this one. So I'm very excited about seeing this one as well. Jacob, thanks for being on the show today, and we will be right back. I'll be talking with George Ellis about how to get your independent movie off the ground. We'll be right back with more Cinema 8. Okay, and welcome back to Cinema 8. If you're making an independent film, the creativity and hard work doesn't stop after the movie is finished. That's still there's still the whole process of getting it promoted. And joining me today to talk about some of that is Dr. George Ellis, a filmmaker who's got some experience in doing sort of grassroots promotion. Dr. Ellis, thanks for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
So can you just talk a little bit about some of the methods that you've seen in this kind of changing landscape of promoting independent films, and what have you seen that's been most effective in recent years?
So, in my opinion, networking is going to be the big part of getting your film, your video out there. Because you can make a video, you can make a film. It might be very good. It might be a good script. You could have good crew and actors, but getting it out to an audience is difficult. Your initial audience is going to be your friends and family, and they're going to say you did a great job. But how do you reach beyond that to people that you don't really know? And it's going to be about networking, and that includes social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and then it's going to be actually participating in film groups and also in film festivals. That's the way you network into a world that is, unless you've been in film before, that's a world that you are not going to be familiar with, which I was not. And when I started making films, I said, well, there's got to be a way to get this out there. And fortunately, I had a mentor who was a cinematographer for me, who did my first videos and my first films. And she was able to guide me through film festivals and all the things on the internet, such as Facebook and Instagram. And progressively, as you start joining film groups, you start gravitating towards people, and then people are curious about your work and they look at it. Once you start attending film festivals and actually getting your film into the festivals, that's going to be the place where people start noticing you and saying, hey, this guy is new, but he's got some good work. The other thing, as far as film festivals and some events, is trying to sponsor some of it or helping to sponsor, because that gives you a little bit more of an edge to say, yeah, I'm so interested in doing this kind of work that I'm willing to put some dollars into the system to help promote the festival or the event, and also promote myself.
And just when you're applying to film festivals, imagine it's just a matter of just applying to as many as you can as possible, right? It's just seeing ones that you think will suit your film and just getting it out there, and trying to just get it seen by as many people as possible.
That's true. And so there's a lot of film festivals out there. And somebody once told me there are festivals and there are festivals. So some film festivals are, you can apply, there's a fee, it's like $20, $30 to get into the festival. And then sometimes they have to select you, and then, you get into the festival and you're competing with the others. Sometimes you don't get in, and that's why you want to hit several film festivals, trying to get your probability of getting into one of those, and then getting into one and maybe getting an award. That's the way you do it. You use the law of probability by doing that. Now, of course, it's going to cost money to do that, and that's one of the issues, not only in going to film festivals and applying the fee, but also in doing film work. There's a cost involved with that. And so that's the challenge that I learned early that people have, is trying to fund their film or trying to, finance their promotion. And so that's a limiting factor in a lot of cases in getting this kind of work done.
We have a lot of independent filmmakers here in Michigan and in Grand Rapids. Do you have any other specific advice you'd have for somebody outside of sort of the mainstream, or maybe not be around where there's film festivals, and how they might be able to cross over into a living and making money as a filmmaker?
Well, that's the next challenge. I mean, for the time being, my venture is, I always tell people, it's the greatest money losing proposition, because it's all cost. I don't make any money from doing this because it's more of a hobby. But when you start thinking about trying to make some money with it, the way you're going to make some money is getting into, certain film festivals. They do compensate you, the awards. They do give you an award that's monetary. It's not just a trophy, so you may want to look for those. And then some independent film companies, like, I pay people if they're working for me. If they're an actor or part of the crew, they're going to get paid because it's fair. We did a movie last year in Hollywood, California, on Mount Lee, which is where the Hollywood sign is. And that's a very attractive thing for someone who's getting into film work. So we had some people that came from, like, I think one person came from Michigan or Minnesota, And she worked for free. She said, I just want the experience. I want to be here. This is a great opportunity for me. And there's a couple of other people that work for free also. So, there's, always being around the film world, try to be on a set, try to be humble because you're not an expert in the beginning. And eventually you will gain some, some notoriety, and people would say, hey, I've got this other film. I'll pay you to be on the crew, to hold signs or to hold lights or to do, to be an assistant. And progressively you can start making money. But in the beginning, it's lean.
Thanks for joining us today. I appreciate your time, and have a good one.
Thank you. And you can go to my website. It's coronadobeachproductions.com. And you can see some of our film clips and some of the work that we've done. And, that would be a good thing.
Thanks for joining us today. I want to thank George Ellis for joining us, and also Michael Steebing and Jacob Bartles, of course. We will see you next time on Cinema 8.